Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we have come up with another interesting topic that we are going to discuss about in detail is regarding the S400 missile defense system that India has imported from the Russia, and we are also going to discuss about various issues associated with this import as well as the India-Russia defense partnership. So let us start and delve deeper into this topic. So first of all, if we try to understand that why this particular issue has been in use from past few years and even from past few days actually is because the delivery of S400, which is also called as Triumph missile system, which is a type of surface to air missiles. We know that already that we have different types of missiles, surface to surface, air to air, surface to air. So S400 is a surface to air missile system. This is something that you have to remember and understand. And the deliveries have started of this particular missile defense system, and as per the Sputnik, that Russian news agency, they have said that this import of missile system from India to Russia is going on as per planned or as per the planned time. Now, if we try to understand slight details about this missile, so this is how this, you can look from this diagram or this image actually, this is how this missile look like, kind of round shape, and the missile is mobile. That means it can be transported from one place to another place, and as we discussed before, it is surface to air missile. Apart from that, the characteristic of this missile or capability of this missile, if we talk about, this missile is actually capable of engaging different types of aerial threats like aircrafts, UAVs, that is unmanned aerial vehicles, for example drones, the cruise missiles. So the missile actually is a group of 4 different type of missile systems are there in this S400 system. So all these different kind of missile system are capable of destroying any kind of enemy target in any of these, from any of these kind of these aerial vehicles. Apart from that, the other characteristic of this missile is that it is a terminal ballistic missile defense. It has a terminal ballistic missile defense capability. Now, this is a term that we need to understand that what this actually means. So when any missile or incoming missile is a target or incoming aerial threat is there, when we launch a missile, there are 3 times in which this aerial threat can be intercepted and destroyed. One is just after the launch in the boost phase, we can call it. Second phase is when the missile or any aerial threat is in the middle of its path, then that threat is destroyed with missile. And third is called as terminal phase, when the aerial threat is in this last phase about to destroy the target, and when it re-enters the atmosphere. First, when aerial threat or any missile is launched, it goes outside the atmosphere and then re-enters into the atmosphere. So when the aerial threat or any other enemy missiles re-enter into the atmosphere, and that is the time when this S400 missile defense system is capable of destroying the enemy target or destroying the enemy threat. So that is what it means, that it has a terminal ballistic missile defense capability. Apart from that, if you look at some other dimensions of these missiles, so it has a multi-function radar that is even able to sense low flying targets, and it is a very, we can say, advanced kind of radar that is being used in this missile system. Apart from that, this missile has autonomous detection and targeting systems. It has an anti-aircraft missile systems, and it has a separate launcher, a specific launcher, as well as a separate command and control center. So these are, we can say, 5 dimensions or 5 components of this S400 missile system. If we delve deeper into the capabilities of this missile more, we can see that actually S400 missile defense system is capable of taking on practically any aerial target within a range of 400 kilometers, as well as up to a, we can say, height of 30 kilometers in the atmosphere. Now here, interestingly, you have to understand that this 400 kilometer is the long range system, that means long range target, but it does not mean that it cannot target the small range or short range weapons. For example, it can even destroy targets at a distance of 50 kilometers, it can destroy target at distance of 120 kilometers, it can, that is the short range. 120 kilometers, we can say this is the medium range. We have also 250 kilometers as well as 400 kilometers. So these are different we can say capabilities of this missile to target the enemy threats. Apart from that, at the same time, it is believed to simultaneously engage with 36 target, and also the other important point about this missile system is that it can be activated in a very short period of time of just 5 minutes. So that is very advantageous. Apart from that, it can be integrated into the existing and future air defense units, including whether it is Air Force, Army, as well as Navy. they are also experimenting with this missile defense system, where they are trying to make this missile in such a way that it will have a kill impact or impact to kill. That means it will destroy enemy target not by some payload, but just by the sheer force of its collision. Then if we slightly go into the background of this S400 defense system deals, we can see that actually it was year 2018 when India signed a deal for the purchase of 5 S400 Triumph systems. And at this time it made a issue, or it made a news, because the deal is close to almost $5.5 billion, and it is one of the biggest defense acquisition that has been made by India. That is from the Indian, if you can say, the import amount is very high, and it is the first time that such a biggest defense acquisition has been made by the Indian government. And first S400 unit would be inducted as per the sources of army. This year itself, by the end of this year, the first S400 unit will be inducted in the Indian military capabilities. Now the question comes that why India has imported S400 missile defense system at such a high price. So let us try to understand the advantages this missile offered to us in strategically to India. So as per the Economist, it is believed to be one of the best air defense system currently existing in the world. In the terms of SIPRI, that is Scotland International Public Research Institute, it has said that it is among the most advanced air defense system that is available on the in the earth today, or on the earth today. Apart from that, the Observer Research Foundation, that is agency, or that we can say is a research body of India, it has said that as far as India is concerned, there is no better alternative system that is capable of serving its long range air defense requirement from the standpoint of both, either in the terms of capability or cost. And this can be understood from the simple point that if you compare this S400 missile defense system with any other alternative defense system being offered by the Western countries, for example US mainly, it is unmatched, as the S400 cost only half the price what the alternative we have. So both in terms of capability as well as cost, this is the best deal that India could have got. So this is the advantages this missile has with respect to the Indian military. However, the import, or we can say the this import of this missile is replete with several issues. So let us try to understand the issues concerned with the import. So first is that the United States of America, they have brought up a legislation in year 2017 that is called as Countering America's Adversary through Sanction Act, or in short it is also referred as CAATSA Act. And the main aim or objective of this CAATSA Act is to prohibit military purchases from those countries that Washington, that is USA, regard as its foes. And as we already know that America and Russia, or erstwhile Soviet Union, has been continuously engaged in a kind of war of words that is also called as Cold War. So there is a kind of adversarial relationship between these two countries, and both try to, we can say, increase their sphere of influence all across the world. So America definitely sees Russia as a foe, and that is why it prohibit any kind of import from Russia. And at the same time, if you look at the concern, another concern is due to the US congressional report that has been released last year, that it says that India's multi-billion-dollar deal to purchase the Russian S400 defense system may trigger US sanctions on India under the CAATSA Act. So that is one important point we have to understand, that by importing this missile system, US can put sanctions on the India. Now obviously the reason behind this is that presence of such system like S400 can clearly impede technology transfers and joint operations between US and India, and this can be exhibited from the example of Turkey, where when Turkey imported this S400 defense system from the Russia, US imposed target and actually banned the import or export of F-35 aircraft from USA to Turkey, on the ground that both American technologies in the warfare as well as the Russian technology cannot coexist together in any country, because this Russian technology, they believe, America believe, can be used to gather intelligence and to gather intelligence inputs regarding how the complex machinery of American machinery or American we can say aircrafts work. So on that ground, Turkey has been sanctioned, and now the deal of F-35 import has been we can say cut off. So similar kind of situations can arise in the case of India as well. So looking on all these issues, if we try to understand or gauge what has been the India's response on all these issues, So India's response has been that first of all it has said that India has always pursued, as per the Ministry of Defence and as per the Ministry of External Affairs, they have given a statement where they have said that India has always pursued an independent foreign policy, and this also applies to the defence acquisitions as well as supplies which are guided by the national security interests of India. Not only this, but India and US, what India has says that if we try to understand the relationship between India, US and India, Russia, they have said that India and US have a comprehensive global strategic partnership, but at the same time, India and Russia also enjoys a very special and a privileged strategic partnership. And this can be understood from the simple fact that since year 2010 and even before that, but especially after 2010, India has been the largest importer of weapons, or we can say arms, from the Russia. That is about 32% of the volume of Russian export. And at the same time, if you look at the import of India, the weapon import of India or arms import of India, in the military import we can say has been almost 62% from the Russia in last 10 years. So that can tell us the volume of this military partnership or volume of military trade that goes on between both the nations. So that this proves that this particular statement is correct. But at the same time, we also need to understand that from last 4 to 5 years, the overall increase in the import items from USA has gone up, while at the same time the overall military import especially from Russia has gone down. So now India is actually trying to strike a balance between both Russian import as well as the American import. So that's the whole viewpoint of we can say a strategic team, or we can say the government of India's Indian government response in that particular issues. And now we talk about that what can this import deal have effect on the Indo-US relationship. So it's not only that in whole US politics or all US politicians or congressmen are against this import of S400 missile defense system by India. Some of them are in favor, and some of them are even have written a letter to the US Congress as well as President that the India should be considered as an exception and no sanctions should be applied on India if they decide to import the S400 defense system. And the reason behind this is simple, because a lot of US politicians, congressmen, senators believe that the demand of waiver of this on the basis of that they said that the sanctions under CARTSA should be applied only on those countries which have direct impact on the national interest of USA, as this since India's import does not poses any direct threat to national security or compromises the US defense system, India should be considered as in the category of exception. As well as this, as we have discussed before, American senators have also said that if you look at the last few year trends, the decline of defense purchases from Russia is there, as well as the defense export from the US to India has also gone up slowly. And if US decides to put a sanction on India on only this ground that India is importing Russian military hardware, it could actually derail the whole cooperation in wide spectrum between both the countries across all the relationship or across all the sector ranging from vaccine to defense to energy to technology sharing, and that would be disastrous for not only India but also for USA itself. And they also try to make the point that India and Russia has been very old partners as far as the military trading goes on. So that point should also be taken into consideration when US is planning to apply, or if US plans to apply sanctions under CARTSA on India. So that is the whole spectrum of the issues. Now the question comes natural to mind, is India is the only country which has the S400 defense system, or Russia has only sold this missile system to India, or other countries are also there? So if you look at this, actually there are 4 main countries or 3 main countries. First is, if you look at this, a small European countries, that is Belarus. So Belarus has got this S400 defense system. Apart from that, we have one more country, Turkey, as we have seen already the examples where the US has sanctioned or put a sanction on Turkey because of this under CARTSA Act. And the third is the China itself, China with which India has a direct threat of war, or we can say in future, and also there is a border issue going on. So China also has S400 missile defense system. So this also is an important point that you have to keep in mind, that since now India will also have the same air defense system, will have kind of equality of power as far as this particular domain of warfare is considered or goes on. Apart from that, small country Algeria in Africa is also said to have S400 air defense system. So right now 4 main countries are there. You have to keep in mind Belarus, Turkey, China and Algeria, who has got the S400 system. So that's all about the whole issues concerning this particular area or this particular topic. I hope you have liked this. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. We'll come with another interesting topic soon. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.